Hey, what is up guys? This is Joshua Matthews and I'm going to do a little tutorial today on how to click on and drag an image around the screen and also how to customize or change the cursor. So there are a few prerequisites for this video. You need to know at least a fair amount of Objective-C, a little bit about Cocoa, and a little bit of Xcode itself. So let's go ahead and get started and create a new project. Go to Cocoa application. We're just going to call this the moving image. The class prefix doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to set it as image, and we don't really need any of this other stuff. Then just save it to wherever you save your files. Alright, so now we are in the project, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over to the zip file, click on the window, so we look at the window, and this is just personal preference, but we're going to go ahead and just size this up because 40 by 360 is just a little too small for me. So we're going to do it by 1000 by 700, and so now it's a whole lot bigger. And let's move our window around, and that's where it's going to pop up whenever the application runs. Alright, now the next thing we need to do is go in here and pull in an NSView object, which is called a custom view here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to drag this in, pull it right there, and just expand it out to fit the whole screen. And there we go. And a neat little trick to make sure that this always stays conformed to the window no matter how the user manipulates it is we click on this little thing right here on the constraints. We go and click on all of these, and what this does is, like, say you have this one right here, well, this will make sure that the NSView is always bound to this side of the window. So if you have all of them on, it'll make sure it's bound to every side of the window, so no matter how the user manipulates the window, it will always conform to the size. Then you add the constraints, so now it'll always do that. Okay, now next thing we need to do is come over here and right click on your project file and go to new file and add an Objective-C class. We're just gonna call this my image, and it's going to be a subclass of NSView because that's the object we added to the screen. Alright, and then just hit next, save it to your project. Alright, now we've got the files right here, the implementation and the interface files, and now we're going to go back to the zip file, make sure that we click on the custom view, go over here to the inspector and go to the custom class and change its custom class to my image. So now the NSView is connected to the my image class. So now whatever you do in these two files, it will change whatever happens to the NSView. Alright, now that we got everything set up, let's come into the interface file of my image and add a couple of objects or properties or whatever you want to call them. Alright, the first one we need is an NSImage, and we're just going to call this pic because it will be our picture. The next thing we need is an NSImageView because we're going to call this where, because this is where the pic will be viewed. Alright, now, oh yeah, let me go ahead and add the little picture that we will be using today. And this is just a little 8-bit sprite that I created a while back when I was into making sprites. Excuse me. This is a PNG file. And whenever you import a file, always do this copy items into destination groups folders if needed. Because this will just make a copy of the file and put it in here. So say if you went in here and went to wherever it was in the original file and deleted it, and then if you didn't copy it over here, then it would mess up this whole project. So if you sorry about that. I hit the mic. So if you copy it, then it'll have one in here, so even if you delete it from the original file, it'll still have this one, and your project will still work. So just, it's always good to do that. Alright, so now the first thing we are going to do is come into the init with frame, pull in our pick, oops, and we are going to do ns image named, and this will be whatever your image name is. Mine is the bbomb.png right over here. So now this, our NS image will be this image that we imported. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to allocate and initialize our NS image view object. Oops. Image view alloc init. And you might have saw that there's an init with frame, but we aren't going to do that because we're just going to set up later the frame to be the same size as the pick. It's the pick size itself, so that we don't have to just kind of guess what the size is. We can just set it up as the size, and then whenever we manipulate the pick size, this will just conform to the pick size. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we need to take our NS image view, we need to add, first we need to set frame as the pick size as the pick dot size. This will return the pick size, and that will set the NS image view as the pick size, because if we don't set the size of the NS image view, then there won't be a size to it, and then we'll not see the image. So, alright, the next thing is we need to call our NS image view and add set image. My bad. And we're just going to set the image to be the pick. And then we have to call the method to self, which is our NS view, and we have to add the subview of this NS image view object, because if we don't add it to the NS view, then it won't be viewed either. So we have to add that. So now when we come up here and press the run button, it should build up, and there we have it, our little image right down there in the origin spot. But it's a little small, so what we're going to do is come into here, take the pick, and then we're going to set size. Then it accepts an NS size, so we're going to do NS make size. Or for this one, we're going to do the width as 100 and the height as 130. And so since we changed the size of the pick, and this is set to be the pick size, this will get changed as well. So when we run and play this, it is a whole lot bigger and a whole lot more seeable. Alright, now to the important parts. We're going to call in a few things that Cocoa allows us to have for mouse events. We're going to call in mouse down, and we are going to call in a mouse dragged. To control the image is you need an NS point. We're just going to call this location. Okay, and we're going to set this to be, we're going to pull in the argument, which is the event, which captures any event that happens in the window. I'm going to do the location in window. And the reason why we added those constraints earlier to the NSView image or object of it is because the NSView and the window have different coordinates. So since we have it constrained to the window and it will conform to the size of the window anytime, we don't really have to worry about converting the NSView's points because they're different. It would mess up if you only got the points from the window and not the NSView, and so that's just something you should note if you are having problems. But now what we are going to do is just call our NSImageView object and then set the frame origin and do location. Alright, now we're just going to run this to see what it does. So now, anytime that I click down, it will change the picture's frame origin to wherever I click. So now we can move this around. We can't drag it yet, but we can just move it around like that. Now we're going to come in to the mouse dragged method and basically do the same thing. Calls for an NS point, location, just pull in the argument, and location and window, and then just call the same method to the NS image view, where set frame origin location. And so now we come in and run this. We can click down, and it the frame origin moves to the new point, and now when we drag, it will move with our cursor.